Happy Saturday, Sonder family. It's a super Saturday to be together. Some of you said you're starting to thaw out. It's been a cold week. Um, we are finishing up February, if you can believe it. March is literally around the corner. And when I turn that calendar page to March, I get all the feels about springtime and new beginnings. So we've almost made it through winter, right? I know there's still stuff that can happen all the way through April, May, but anyway, we're here. I started our time out together with that fun song, Find Your People. And speaking of finding your people, um, so you guys, opportunities are all around for the Denver metro area next Saturday. Our very dear Maya Martin Glenn, who is with me this morning, is doing an in-person event for all of you who have kind of close access to the Denver metro area. And so she's dropping the info right there in the chat. It'll be at 9:30. I know we're slowly going to be trying to get some of these live events happening so we can create some Sonder social meetups and we can just, lay eyes on each other, give some hugs. But if you are in that area next Saturday, feel free to, grab the information in that link that Maya posted. This is open to all. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be a Silk and Sonder member user to come. It's open to all. You might want to bring some friends to introduce them to the magic that we know as Silk and Sonder. So just a shout out for that. Oh, and you get to meet Maya's mom. That's amazing. So anyway, yes, and I think I forgot to say I'm Jennifer, and I get to facilitate, guide you this morning as we do this setup for our final week of February. And then again, Maya is in the chat. So we are both going to do our best to answer any questions you have along the way, make sure that we are creating a fun, safe place. Double check, make sure your chat says to everyone. If it says to hosts and panelists, sometimes the default is weird and only Maya and myself will see your message. And that is how we share with one another because you are off camera, you are off mic. I'm hoping you're having a slow morning. Maybe you're still in your jammies, you're sipping on your coffee. But anyway, let's just get moving on. Of course, I want to shout out to our personalized life coach. If you haven't checked that out, it's worth checking out. But I grabbed this from Claire, who had posted in Sonder Club about how much she was loving this personalized coaching platform that Silk and Sonder has introduced. And we had a little meeting on Thursday, kind of a little power session for some more, information on that. It's a safe place. It's very well protected. It's about you and it is AI generated. However, what makes it different is the intake portion of that, where all of the information about who you are as a person, all the Myers-Briggs stuff, your Enneagram, your saboteurs, all of that is taken in. It's quite a lengthy process, just like you were doing an intake for an in-life coach. And all this information is populated to create a program just for unique you. And then you can, oh, you've been using it to great. I love that, Nicole. But I was also going to say, we want to make sure that you are keeping your information updated. So if you have this platform, be sure to let Jenny know when there's changes in your life, or you know what, I'm okay financially now, but I really want to start focusing on my health and nutrition. So make sure that you're keeping your data up to date with that coaching platform. So it is AI generated. That's a great question, Susan. It is AI generated, but again, it takes that personal portion of you. Because, like, if we just go to AI and say, tell me something, they will. But this populates everything that is about you. So it's very pinpointed to what's going on in your life. And I think the folks who are using the platform are really finding that it's like I can't believe how well Jenny knows me and is prompting me along. So anyhow, and if you have some questions, drop that in our community in the Silk and Sonder app, because the folks who are using it would love to tell you what they have found. And remember, we did a big beta portion and we've worked out a lot of stuff too, so that it really is nice. And yes, as Maya says, this is 24/7. So this isn't, 10 o'clock on Wednesdays. This is accessible anytime you need that. So anyhow, okay, enough of that. We'll go to our next thing. We've got some fun days this week. We'll be turning that calendar to March. But if you like to embrace some fun little extras for your week, you might want to grab a screenshot of some of these dates. If something really speaks to you, I love looking at March the 1st is the Global Day of Unplugging. So that's probably something we could all benefit from, right? Like maybe lean into that March 1st by celebrating the Global Day of Unplugging and doing a little more face to face. And that, yes, Maya just said that's the day of face to face silk and sondering in the Denver, Colorado area. So yeah, go unplug and play outside. So again, grab a little screenshot of some of those. As you can also Google search that. But I like to every once in a while take a moment to think about how we can make this week special. There are our community guidelines. We do create safe spaces when we're together. So if you're here for the first time, please take a moment to peruse those guidelines. These are the same guidelines that we use for our Sonder Club app. And speaking of being here possibly for the first time, if you are, I'm seeing so many familiar names. And if you come to these meetings where we hold each other accountable for setting up, you're going to make friends. They're virtual friends. You're going to recognize these names. Is there anybody here for the first time? Let us give you that welcome, because a lot of us are returning. As Nicole says, all the besties are in-house this morning. But yeah, this is my accountability. Love hanging out with y'all. So anyway, those guidelines. So we keep safe spaces when we are together. So we are here for a weekly setup. And again, we're going to I'm going to facilitate our way through, give you some ideas. You may already know what you're doing. You may be halfway set up. You may be working on something else. But we're just glad you're here. You're using this hour for your self-care and your wellness. We're going to kick off with the end of our admiration mind map, which is that extra prompt you get for showing up at the weekly socials. We've been looking at different things we have admiration for in our lives this month. We'll do that rosebud thorn reflection, which I always like to remind you, that's a reflection and gratitude, even for those thorns. And we're going to take a moment to look back over the week, and then we will look at the weekly setup. And you are invited to use these pages just as they are, right? Just as they're printed. But we also have a lot of repurposed pages and ideas to show you to perhaps incorporate to make this journal work in your life. And the chat is a great resource during our time together, because folks will share, I don't use this to-do list as a to-do list. Here's what I use it for. And they may inspire something for you in your journal. So we are on the 4th week of our admiration mind map, this bonus, the idea of a bonus prompt at the weekly setups. I set my page up with hearts because February is just hearts for me. I used a cookie cutter, and I'm thinking for March, I may go see if I've got a clover cookie cutter and set that up that way. But the cookie cutter is a good cheat for making your page kind of fun. You could also use a weekly scratch pad, your sticky notes, a quote, put it on your quote page, anywhere you want in your journal. And then Bailey one of our other co-facilitators, Bailey says, I put mine on the last page because then I can find it lickety split. I don't have to go go through. Yeah, the cookie, I mean, it's right, the cookie cutter. Ugh, I wish I had thought of that a long time ago, but it is a really good idea to, make your page fun, and there's not a whole lot of, low stakes art, right? Low stakes art. That's what I'm for. So, if you haven't done the mind map, you'll have an opportunity to see all 4 weeks, and you can catch up if you want or just consider it over the week. But this 4th week, we are looking at the admiration of art and how art affects our life and where we find just that. I like to think of art as that moment, the wow moment. So I pulled together just some graphic imagery because I'm a very visual person. And for me, art is, of course, very visual. So, is it graffiti or things murals on a wall? Is it film and sitting back and appreciating what goes into creation of films and being able to stream those things that you find so beautiful? Perhaps you see art in sporting events and admire all that our athletes bring to the field when they are there. Maybe it's art through music and being present in a concert and hearing your favorite artists perform using their talents. Perhaps it's in found in books for you, the art of crafting a story that takes you away and you admire authors and their works. Perhaps it's masterpieces hanging in museums or being on display. Perhaps it's the theater or the art. I'm a big vinyl record person. There's nothing better than those pops and scratches to me. So perhaps you see admiration in one or more of those areas. So as you're considering where you have admiration for the arts, I've compiled a little list of prompts for you, and maybe you'll land on one or two of these things to put in your mind map this week. So I'm going to stop talking and put on some music. So as you're thinking about the things that inspire that wow feeling in you and the things you admire in the arts, share in the chat what is coming up for you. And just as Corey just dropped in that chat, anywhere you look in the world, you should be able to see the art. You're so right. Yeah, billboards and architecture. And I always say I have building crushes. I have buildings that just wow me. Anyway, get going, share in the chat what's coming up for you, and then we'll move on with our setup. wasn't that a fun reflection to think about what you admire when you start thinking of everything through the lens of art? I was even thinking about things that are mundane, like my coffee maker. Like someone designed that and it produces beautiful brew, but it's kind of cool how it works, Or my toaster. There's art in that. So anyway, I love when we stop for a moment and get real excited about the things that we admire that are out there in the world. And honestly, we could probably do like we could have art as a theme for Silk and Sonder. We could really dig in for an entire month in how art affects us. So thank you for taking a moment to work on that and finish up your February mind map. That was great work. So now we're going to move on to our rosebud thorn reflection. And so we are here at the end of our February journal, but quite possibly we are also at the beginning of our March journal. So we're going to look at page 50 to kind of finish out February. And then as we move forward, we'll make a decision on to which journal we're going to set up in today. So on page 50 is the Rosebud Thorn reflection for this past week. And of course, the thorn are the things that didn't go well and things that might be challenging or stressful or just some blah moments. Sometimes those thorns are hanging out and there's stuff like finances or health. Um, for me, it's just we had super cold weather here in Texas, and like we saw the teens, and I know that is common day stuff for some folks, but for us Texans, our houses are meant to like release the hot air. So when it gets cold, it just feels like extra cold. Like it's hard for our houses to get warm because they're designed to kind of, be able to hang in the summertime, not wintertime. And it was just a dreary, cold week and it kind of got me bleh. So I'm excited that we're gonna start seeing a thaw this week. Buds. Okay, so what is coming up for you? What are you looking forward to? It can be as simple as we've got a new week ahead. But thinking about the things that are motivating you. And so for me, that is we're starting a new project through my church. And we're going to be making baby quilts to welcome the newest members of our church family. And it's kind of a new initiative, and we're going to be trying to create a bunch to have ready to go. So the minute a baby is born to our congregation, they are welcomed with a handmade quilt that has been blessed by makers' hands. So I'm very excited to be a part of that. And then my Rose, what went well, what was exciting this week, the positive thing that happened, the little guy that made us grandparents turned 7, and it was the fastest 7 years of our life. But we had a big party on Thursday, and it was just fun. And it was at an arcade. He's getting so big, he was able to have an arcade party, and I made him a Pac-Man cake, and that was fun. And I just get all in the feels when I think about the day he was born, and then I think about the day his daddy was born, and I just do all of that reminiscing. So that was my sweet Rose for this week. I'm going to put on a quick little song while you share. You work on your your roses, buds, and thorns, and share with us. Let us walk with you through the things that are difficult and let us celebrate those things that you are excited for or looking forward to. Oh, Melody, I agree with you. That list, the house household chores are never done. Feels like you finish the laundry and you go look and there's more clothes in the laundry or the dishes, right? Ongoing, ever growing. I always try to frame it out as like, I'm so grateful for my dirty clothes because it means I have clothes to wear, or dirty dishes means I have a full belly because, oh, the chores, right? There's husbands returning from detachment. Oh, I love that, Callie. Yay, everybody's gonna be together. That's amazing. Thank your husband and you for that service. Yeah, sometimes, Kristen, we don't get done what we want to do, and we're looking and we're like, I'm just gonna move this week over to next week because it didn't go as planned. We give ourselves grace and we keep on trucking along. Nancy, starting treatment for your breast cancer. You have the Sonder family in your back pocket. Don't forget that. We will be holding you close to our hearts as you begin that journey. And we wish nothing but the best and a full recovery so that you can experience vitality. Thank you, friends, for sharing in the chat. Again, this is what makes this community different from other communities. Is that, like Nicole said, we just kind of carry each other. We share in the chat, and then we're in each other's heads, and we're in hearts, and we're just carrying around. So, thanks for taking time to do that. Now it's time to set up that weekly planner. So you have two choices. You can finish this week. Well, really three choices. You can finish out the whole week in your February journal. Or if you're just ready for that fresh start, oftentimes I am ready for that fresh start. And I just love those empty pages. You can jump into your March journal, or you can do February, you can do March, because both weeks are completely in there, or you can set up partially in the February and then start afresh on March 1st, next Saturday, in your March journal. So it's really up to you. Got a couple of pages here to point out to you. You can see that this page, the week I want, they didn't do how I want to feel. They just did a sentence this week. I want to radiate joy. And then they took that word radiate and moved it down into their goals: happiness, healthiness, and kindness. And then they incorporated those goals, or they incorporated their to-do list into those goals by creating a little to-do bingo there. Yay, radiate is your word. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. We love to see these examples. So to do happiness, we're going to smile. We're going to do the daily tarot or oracle, and we are using the personalized coaching. To radiate healthiness, we're going to meditate, eat good food, dance party. So see how those to-dos completely support those goals for the week. And then you drop down to the habit and activity section, and whoops, and the goal is covered up. We're just tracking. So love that. Love this page. Is this one of y'all's? If it is, holler, because here's what I loved about this one. Look at those to-dos. So it's the to-dos are laundry and meal prep and do yoga, right? But look at how the to-dos are written. If you do laundry, then you will feel less overwhelmed. So doing an if then mind frame. Love that. Kind of that self reminder, a little pep talk there. Um, the looks like there's three goals there, but there's not. There's one goal: study for exam. Study for exam, study for exam. So it's about taking what you need. And that is what needed to be seen by this person when that journal was opened every day. That is the priority this week. Taking that study for exam and using that into the habit and activity tracker down there at the bottom, top thing, 5 times. And so this person set their goals, and then I want you to look over at the very end there, and I blew it up. I'm going to reward myself when I meet those goals. So if you are a rewards driven person, this is a great idea. If you have some things that really need to happen, figure out how you can reward yourself and be treat yourself. Yeah, and prioritize those main things that are important to you. So I really wanted to embrace these 2 pages to share with you. We like to start with thinking about how do we want to feel this week. So drop that in the chat if you've been thinking about, what you need this week to bring you. And like Corey said, radiate. Maybe that's the word. That word of the year is showing up here in some way every week so that you are putting it front and center. My word of the year is abide because I'm being very pushy on my husband to take care of some health stuff. And I just need to calm down. I need to abide and go with the flow. So, it's all about taking what you need. So, drop in the chat what is showing up for you this week. How do you want to feel? Nicole is saying it's going to be self efficacy. Yes, self-efficacy this week. Radiate joy. How else do you guys want to feel this week? What is popping up for you? Productive to thrive because you had a lazy week. Kristen, I love though that you gave yourself space to rest. Rest is an activity. We forget that. Under function. Yeah, let's under function. Sometimes we have that. We need that, right? We need that. So Gail is wanting to be on track. Daisy's going to really tie it in with what she loves. She wants to feel about how the things she loves. So Carrie's trying to get unstuck, so to feel more motivated and accountable, organized, appreciative. Oh yes, be so grateful for that good health, Cynthia. We're glad for you. Balanced, excited, busy in March. Yeah, March tends to start getting busy because we're thawing out, right? And just like the buds on the tree, we're budding and we're ready to go with our new season. So we're going to take that word now and look at what our goals should be for this week. And just a reminder, you're not a before or an in and after, right? Like those pictures we always see before and after. You don't have to prove you've made it to some other side. That's very out, kind of neutral, right? You can just be you now. You are who you are. You're not a before, you're not an after. Let's set those goals to serve who we are. There's a lot of ways to set these up. We're finishing up February. Go take a look at your intentions page. Has it gone the way you wanted it to go? Are there some things in that intentions page you need to bring forward into your goals and your habits this week so that you can say, okay, yeah, I did it. I did it. Or just give yourself permission to put that in into March. Set your goals through the lens of admiration. Maybe we focus on the arts this week and paying attention and noticing a little bit more. And then we can also look at our previous weeks, what's outstanding, what could be brought forth from the previous 3 weeks to finish strong in the way that we want to. Maybe your goals need to be no goals. Maybe you need to stop doing some things that are not serving you. I'm going to be going back and forth between these slides while you work on all of this. So if you see something you like, you can capture that in an image or get it down on your paper. Oh, I saw this week. I thought it was so cute. This week I want to feel cute as a button, and then used that idea of buttoning up, buttoned down, and unbuttoned. I thought that was a really just fun, very novel way to set goals up for the week. Using good stickers is always fun. You can have 4 goals, like you see the one in the middle, but you can also just have one goal, like that one we saw, study, 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 do it 3 times. A not to do list is always so powerful, Nicole. Those things that we need to get rid of. Here's a bunch of different categories that our Sonder family has embraced to set a goal up. So you just maybe choose a work goal, a community goal, and a home goal. It's really what you need. So there's some ideas to inspire that. And you can also take those goals and then directly tie them in with creating your to-do list, or your to-do list can just stand alone. It's really what you need. But here again, you see that example I showed you at the front end of our time together on this page, how the happiness, healthiness, and kindness are tied into that bingo. But you can see a couple of other examples of how those goals directly informed the to-dos. And then we don't have to set goals. We can actually just repurpose this to something that's going to work in your life. You can see some great examples here. There's a schedule there in the morning. Somebody's really trying to firm up their morning rhythm and routines by putting that schedule out there. That's the goal this week, is honoring that schedule, or perhaps taking a look at the morning self-care routines, like the example on the left. Perhaps your goals become a bingo board. The one on the upper right is turned into a bingo board, or maybe you just need some reminders, some self-love reminders like you see there on the bottom right. So you can change this space up to work for you. Now let's take a look at those to-dos. A good reminder, I always love the visuals, the graphics, trying to do everything at once. You're trying to move those mountains. Take it a rock at a time, and make sure it's a rock that you can manage, right? You might need a pebble sometimes, right? Other times you feel like you can get a boulder. So that's just a fun little graphic to remind yourself about setting those to-dos to where you can feel successful. So here's some ways of dividing that to-do list up so that it maybe speaks to being efficient. Here's my everyday list, and here's the this week list, kind of the things that are critical to that particular week. A morning and evening routine, your wants and your needs, maybe to read, to watch, to listen. So dividing this up will help you kind of maybe be able to meet those goals a little bit better, because you're focusing on different areas in your life. Now, if you have a big old to-do list, we do shout out to this Eisenhower matrix every single week, because it is a very good way to help you prioritize your important and urgent items, all the way down to the things that maybe you can drop for now or put off, delay. But we love this tool. So if you haven't used it and you have a really big list, and I know some folks will do an Eisenhower matrix maybe for their work to-dos, right? And then your other to-dos, like your home and your personal to-dos, go somewhere else. I always put my to-dos on my weekly spread, so each day has its to-do list. And then I save mine for a to-do list, which I'm getting ready to show you. If you're working on that self-talk, maybe your to-do list becomes your to-be list. And so you are pushing down those saboteurs that are in your head telling you the negative things, and you're going to think about what you want to be this week. And if you need to see that in writing, this is a great place to put that. Anybody worry out there? I'm a chronic worrier. My husband says it must work because pretty much everything I worry about doesn't happen. But maybe you need to just do a little dump list and put your worries down and say goodbye to them by giving them power to be on the paper. Or there, as we were saying, there's that to don't list, that reminder about what not to do. And then here's just some examples of fun ways to set it up, right? Maybe a bingo board is your to-do list, or you draw some shapes, or you use some stickers to inspire that. The to-do list is, I leave my to-do list blank here, and then all the extras I do, I go back and write them down so that I can celebrate and give myself credit for them. It's kind of like, when you make your to-do list and you've done something and you go and write it on the to-do list just to write it off, like celebrate that. Or maybe a distractions list. Anybody working on that social media stuff? Maybe you kind of think about when you are scrolling mindlessly, and sort of draw awareness to that so that you can get that habit, better tamed. Then we're going to drop down and we're going to look at our habits and activities for the week. And these can be the same habits that you have in that big tracker, the monthly tracker at the front end of your journal. A lot of times my weekly will have go look at your monthly habit tracker. This will be one of the things I track, that I turned back to that page. We have some examples here. Maybe you need more space so you can see the one on the upper left actually has 6 habits and activities for the week, and I love them. They're all very gentle, very self-care driven. But like they added no TV. They wanted to make sure that that component was on there. You are invited to circle the days that you want certain things to happen, like the example below that on the left there. Well, really the left and the right. So those days are circled. The one on the bottom right, tracking 3 things. You don't have to fill in all the lines. And and then the one over on the upper right that you can see they've assigned that goal and they've kind of gamified it because they've done a countdown from 6 down to 2. So something 6 times, something 5 times, 4, 3, 2. And when you do that, that just kind of makes it a little fun. And then I have some habit tracker ideas. If you're looking to change things up a little bit, add something new, I've got a couple of slides with some different habits that you might want to consider putting on your page. So I'm going to stop talking and put on a chunk of music for you to work on page 1. I will go back to the beginning of the slides I've just shown. If you see something that speaks to you, grab a screenshot of that and then let us know if you're repurposing anything or how you're setting this week up so you can inspire others. Nicole posted in the chat, if you haven't had a chance to look at that. Nicole, I always love the call outs to the idea of that duality of more of something and less of something. I love how that lens of looking at both the more and the less can really affect your life in such a positive way when we can do that duality. And that's why we have those duality exercises about once a quarter, because we look at both sides of the coin and who we are. So great work on the first page of our setup. Now we're going to go to our second page, the side B of the record album, as our co-facilitator Katie likes to say. Now this page, again, you're invited to use it just as it is, but this page gets really repurposed heavily, I think, a little bit more than the first page. Here's just this list, not exhaustive, but lots of ideas in ways that folks have taken maybe a bedtime routine and used it in their shopping list, or they did a drawings and doodles in the meal plan section, or they did an errand list in their mind body health. So just kind of all of these can be used anywhere. This whole page can kind of be interchanged. And again, it's a reminder to take what you need for your week. So we're on either page 53 in February, page 27 in March. Here's a couple of great setups that I thought I'd share. A couple of newer examples. Someone is using the meal plan as their daily time in the word. They're going to do a scripture every day. And yes, this week, if you came on a little bit late, we were doing the admiration of arts. Anywhere you find admiration of the arts. You can notice on the example on the left, the Mind Body Health Plan is just this positive sticker, and a couple of stickers there actually, but that good reminder, that kind of a cheer to yourself, go through what you grow through what you go through. So, just that reminder that you need to see. Again, just some beautiful imagery to evoke some peace and calm. The one on the right, the menu plan, is what I did well. So that little reflection every day. This person's going to capture the daily glimmers. And then again, really, stickers want to be stuck. So go grab those stickers, and maybe you make this happy little space using your stickers. Now, here are three examples. You've seen these before at my setup, because I've got three different ways of using the meal plan. So the meal plan's the same, but folks have kind of catered this to work for what they need in their life. The first person's divided it up into the meals, the time of day, those three a day, with those kind of the charts, and they're tracking using the water droplets. There's a meal plan in the middle, and then someone else is using this section to track those macros. Protein is big for women, right? We're hearing more and more research, so maybe this is how you make sure you're getting your protein allotment every day. But speaking of doodles, we were talking about doing those doodles. Look at that second one. Every day in the meal plan, a little doodle to just kind of lean into that artistic side of your brain, tickle that side that might not get used as often as it should. Yes, Nicole, I couldn't remember whose I pulled, but I saw it in Sonder Club and said, oh, that's going in the setup this week. So thank you. We always love that meal plan for the soul. Appointments, National Day of. Remember, we shared those special days this week. Here's how somebody incorporated that into their journal. Maybe you're writing a haiku every day, again, tickling that part of the brain, that creative space that might not get used as often as it should. I love the idea of the one good thing reflection. And I have to just shout out to that Monday on that list, because you see that little poop there, and it says one tiny polyp, a colonoscopy, but it was one good thing, because that's all that found. And normally that would go on a thorn, right? But this person gave power to it and framed it out as a positive. So I love that. A victory inventory, and then don't forget to use those water droplets. You can use it to track your hydration of different things by color coding: blue for water, brown for coffee, black for tea. Or you can do it as an hourly check-in. There are actually 8 water drops. What if you did an 8-hour check-in for with yourself to see how you're feeling? Are you feeling calm? What is your mood tracker? What are you looking at this month? Are you tapping down some anger and refocusing on the positive? Maybe you do that hourly check-in during those 8 hours in the day, and you use those water droplets as that check-in accountability. The mind body health plan, I always say this is my selfish space. This is where I put the things that I'm going to do for just me, my self care. I love this Swiss cheese model of self care. It is a reminder that not one single layer fully protects you. You need to add lots of things to your self care menu to make sure that you are addressing how you are connecting with friends. Where are you getting that good rest? How are you setting boundaries? What about your mindfulness? What are you focusing on? Your movement and fueling your body with nutrient dense foods. So it's not just doing one thing. It's everything to help just kind of level that stress. So yeah, do all the good things for yourself. Speaking of rest, here are the 7 types of rest. And it's so important to know that maybe sometimes, like if you need creative rest, that means perhaps you need to carve out time to make sure you are, again, tickling that part of your brain and being intentional. So perhaps this gets incorporated somewhere this week. I need creative rest. So I'm going to do a doodle every day. Or maybe you embrace a different type of rest each day, to just kind of make sure you're focusing on all areas of the parts, the kinds of rest we need. But usually what happens is we're feeding ourselves with the right kind of rest in lots of spaces, but it might be we're not taking care of our mental rest. And so we really need to lean into one kind of rest. Maya is putting a link there if you want to dig further into the different types of rest that there are so that you are serving yourself the best. And I just love this graphic. Don't you love it when somebody tells you you look tired? And then I love this. Thanks. It's probably because I'm tired. I was like, yep, that's us. Maybe you make your week extra fun by incorporating a little bit of alliteration. You can see how someone has done that in their mind body health section. So their mindful Monday, their tune in Tuesday, their thankful Thursday, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll go back and forth while you're working on this page so you can grab images if you see something that's speaking to you. Here's just a ton of different ways to embrace the space of mind body health. And I love the one in the upper middle, unplug for 1 hour. That pairs nicely with our March 1st of Global Unplugging Day. And this is what it means to unplug. And they've written that down. Everything's going to airplane mode. I'm not doing social media. I'm not checking email. And I'm not going to hear that phone bing at me, right? So giving yourself those parameters to make sure that that happens. And again, perhaps you just use an inspirational sticker there. We always like the reflection pieces. How did I nourish my mind, body, soul? Love that. A self-care tracker. How about 5 minutes for yourself? That can be hard to carve out sometimes. So every day, just this mindful intention of I'm setting a timer and I'm doing 5 minutes for just me. And it could just be that I go to the bathroom alone, right? Depending on your household, you know what 5 minutes you need. I also like the idea of picking. So you can see the one in the bottom middle there, pick one each day. So a little menu, but didn't assign a day because you don't know what Monday brings. Maybe Monday means you were at your computer all day, so you need a good stretching session. And so you can just connect the lines there to do that. And then we've got that shopping list, which is a fun little graphic to repurpose because we've got the little grid there. And so it's a great way to make a list or, routines. But again, some more ideas to repurpose that. But you can see, look at that mini 1 week vision board. I love that. I love a vision board. I mentioned earlier, I love the visualization of that. We've got someone who is doing some little accounting here where they're balancing their accounts. They're having no spend days. They're doing no takeout, and they're going to monitor that throughout the week. Again, bingos are great, putting your rhythms and routines, your daily rituals into this space with that nice little grid. um Leaning into a scripture that's going to guide your week. Look at that nightly reset. I actually kind of incorporated something like this a couple of years ago because I didn't like the way morning Jennifer was greeted by my kitchen. And so nighttime Jennifer now does it so that morning Jennifer is happy. So you do a nightly reset so that when you wake up in the morning, everything is new and fresh. We love the social check-in. And then finally, what are you loving this week? What's come your way that you'd like to share with us? We'd love for you to drop that in the chat while we're working on this page. And I'll put on a little bit of music. Let us know what you're going to be doing in these spaces this week. As you are finishing up the sections on this page, I also want to be sure that I share with you a couple of weekly spreads so you can see how folks set those weeks up and utilize those that 3 days 3-page spread for the Monday through Sunday, kind of give you some visuals so that you can maybe see something that'll speak to you to set those pages up. And I'm just really proud of you for carving out this hour. Maya's going to be doing another weekly setup this weekend, tomorrow, and then I'll be doing this one. I'll have the same exact slides for Monday morning. So if something was missed, you've got 2 more opportunities to do a weekly setup. We are always so, just honored to kind of, lean into a new week together, to embrace the possibility of this new month, what it's gonna bring us, finish February strong, and just kinda hang out with y'all, be with y'all. So we want to see your journal set up in our Sonder Club app. If you're comfortable, please feel free to even just one little section so that, that might be something that we can incorporate in future social setups, because you might inspire somebody else too, just by seeing that. Oh, Susan, we love the morning setups with y'all. So, there's our music list for this morning, and I'll drop the Spotify list there. And I'm just really proud of you. And I'm glad we were here together, starting off a good weekend and getting ready for a good week. Thanks for joining Maya and me. We'll see you next time, Sonder fam.
I want to love myself without needing someone else to say it to me. I want to love myself without needing someone's help to show it to me. Hey, cause I can be mean in my mind, beat myself up all the time with awful thoughts, and I can't eat myself alive. I'm gonna try, it's gonna be an awkward talk, but I love you, I don't say it enough. I love who you are, who you become. Don't know why I cannot hear it, unless it comes from someone else. But I'ma find a way to finally feel it when I say it to myself. When I say it to myself, I want to be someone who's not swayed by opinions, be me authentically without the apologies. I want my heart to soar without being insecure and point out